How's it going, fish friends, fish lads? I don't have a name for my fans because there's not that many of them. But hey, 90 subscribers, that's pretty cool. Maybe when I reach 100, I'll actually do something that could be considered a special. But I tend to do random milestones. For 71, I did a video on overstocked tanks. Today I figured I would do a little video where I do maintenance on all of my setups. So that would be the Isoproject, the 10 gallon, the 9 gallon, the Blackwater setup, the 20 gallon, the Jarrarium, my bowl, and my little fountain pond thing, which I've only showed once actually. But yeah, so that's gonna be today's video. I'm gonna be going through each of my setups and doing maintenance on them, and then I'll do like post commentary explaining what I'm doing. So yeah, let's just jump into it. I hope you guys enjoy it, and this is going to be a long one, so stick around. Alright, so let's get started with the first setup here, which is the Isoproject. Now, normally my maintenance on this thing pretty much just consists of wiping down the glass to clean off all the slug poop and just any excess moisture, and then remisting it so that, the plants actually have water on their roots, because the light is pretty intense and the condensation kind of stays all around. But I also gave this guy a little bit of a trimming just because a lot of stuff was starting to get overgrown, especially that one vine plant. I can't remember what it's called, but it's sort of like an invasive thing, which is why I chose it, because I knew it would grow well. But yeah, we're just kind of giving everything a nice good old trim, and then yeah, that's really it. Then I give everything a nice wipe down, and then you can see there, and then I pull out a few bits and pieces, and then I just give a nice spritz to keep everything nice and hydrated. That's pretty much all there is to it. Yeah, that's I don't know what else to say. So let's just fade back to me talking about whatever I'm about to talk about. Now, once I've trimmed up the Isoproject, which isn't something I do too often, but I thought I'd do it for this video, I usually just give it a nice misting. If you see here, now you can get a better look at it. We have an immersed crypt growing, so that should be interesting. We also have this like vine thing that's supposedly like it's some sort of like invasive plant that like steals nutrients from other plants, which is exactly why I put in here, because I knew it would be easy as hell to keep alive. So yeah, I usually give it a nice mist down. And now you might be able to see here, it might be a bit difficult, get out of their finger, is I do have some mold spores growing all around. Now, I'm pretty sure you all know what the easy way to remove that would be, and that is indeed springtails. So we're going to be adding some springtails. Now I also have some leaves here. Now I collect these from just random places sort of around, and these have multiple purposes. Feeding isopods is one of them. The other is a cheap way to get botanicals for a fish tank, because what I've found is that you can pretty much just use any leaves, and I've seen no like negative effects to just grabbing leaves from outside. So let's just chuck a few in here. It'll give a nice aesthetic as well. Actually, maybe just one is enough. That looks pretty good. Maybe in the front? Nah, maybe not. Whatever. And I'll probably do another revamp on this thing pretty soon, just because some of the moss is not doing too well. I gotta experiment more with different types. I need to like start logging what types do better and stuff, but whatever. Alright, springtail time. Now the method to this is pretty simple. We just gotta find a big piece covered in them, and then we just kind of shake them off in there. Now this could take a while, because they might be hiding a little deeper. But here we go. I hate the iPhone camera, it never wants to focus. Okay, that's some. And I'll just do this a few more times and then we'll be good. There we go, that's what it looks like all cleaned up. We got some new growth on the Oxalis. Overall, this thing's doing pretty well, and I'm hoping the springtails I just added will help to contribute to less mold spores growing on here. That'd be great. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. So let's move on to the 10 gallon, I guess. Just really quickly before we start the maintenance, I just like to say, got this guy in a pot here. I think this is a bromeliad, but I can't really remember what it's called. Oh, here we go. There you go, whatever that is what it is. And I've also got the spider plant from the 20. It was getting all droopy and weird, which seems strange because it had enough water, but I don't know. I've repotted it. It's droopy right now, and we're hoping it'll recover. And by we, I mean I am. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that really quick. So yeah, let's get started on the 10 gallon. You can see it is pretty murky. And that is because it has no filter, and I haven't done a water change in a while. So yeah, let's get on that. You guys gulping at the surface? That can't be good. All right, let's just jump into this. Oh yeah, there's some cucumber I put in there. Looks like someone's been eating it. That's great. Okay, water change time. So how do we do this? First step, we remove, hey Gourami. We remove all the pots from the top. Goldfish plant. You're the weirdest plant ever. You do really well on some sides, really bad on other sides. Just strange. So the next thing we do is we turn off the light. Place this behind the aquarium, like so. And I take off the hood, or the lid, or whatever you want to call it. Kind of flip it around so we don't spill too much water. We got a piece of pothos in the top there, not sure why I put it there. Hoping it'll start rooting. What is that? I think it's begun. Sweet. It wasn't growing in the back, so I stuck some in the front. Because if you look at the one in the back, it's just all droopy and... Or it might be starting to root. That's dwarf hairgrass in the end. The issue with this tank... Okay, I thought that cherry shrimp was dead. The issue with this tank is that everything floats to the top. It's just kind of annoying. But I'm going to get started on the water change for this guy. We're going to scoop out a bunch of these plants, replant them. And we're going to take the Isoproject light and use that as a little guide. That's what I did in the 10 gallon rescape video, and that's what we're going to do here. So I'm just going to get started on that. And actually, before I do that, I should show you my water change equipment. This is basically what we got. This is my filling up bucket, and this is my taking out bucket. We got a little cup thing I use for the bowl with a net in it, for, you know, net and things. We got a PetSmart bag because, you know, you can never have too many of those. All right, so let's get started then. Alright, so let's just get started with the 10 gallon here. I do apologize for the murkiness, but of course the only thing to solve that is a water change, and that's what we're doing here. So, the system, I guess you could say, for this is pretty simple. We just replant any plants that have floated up. Like you can see me doing with this Bacopa here, which is just going to float right back up afterwards. And then I tried moving this crypt, but then it just kind of fell apart, so that's gone. But yeah, pretty much replant any plants that have floated up. Kind of clean up anything on the surface, like bits of dwarf hairgrass, stuff like that, and then just sort of stick the siphon in there, do about a 25% water change, and try to suck up any dirt sort of across the sand and stuff. After this recording ended, I actually added a few more plants to the aquarium that I'd like to make note of. The first thing was a crypt from my 20 that kept floating, so I said, alright, you can go where that other crypt fell apart. I also stuck the Bacopa more towards the back, which just looking at it now looks way better. And I also put a piece of water lettuce in the top, because water lettuce grows like hell. So my hope is that it'll kind of cover up the top, because this tank really needs some floaters. But yeah, overall, this tank is pretty easy to maintain. Unfortunately, the murkiness has not gone away quite yet. I think it just needs a few more water changes to be done to it. But yeah, this pretty much all this is. It's a pretty low maintenance jungle tank. I don't really do anything to it, and it's kind of a funny tank if you really think about it, because I mean, I've got mystery snails, swordtails, mosquito fish, and shrimp. Well, I've heard a ton of people say, you know, cherry shrimp and swordtails can't go together. Well, evidently they can, and in a 10 gallon nonetheless. But yeah, one day, if I keep my swordtails alive long enough, I will move them to a bigger aquarium. But yeah, there's me with the little siphon, and that's really all there is to say. So yeah, let's move back to me talking about whatever I'm about to talk about. Now, usually what I do after I've, you know, drained it, I'll give a little wipe around to just wipe off any excess plants. But yeah, that's pretty much all the maintenance I do on this one. You know, sometimes I'll get a little more thorough with the gravel cleaning, but today I didn't feel like it, I guess. No, but recently I've just been kind of leaving the dirt and grossness in, because I think I don't know, probably adds a bit more nutrients to the water. But yeah, now I'm just going to fill this bad boy up, and I'll see you when I'm done. Well, I guess I could give you guys a quick run through of what I do. It's really simple. We basically just go There's Sleepy Cashy. Basically just go into the bathroom here, stick this guy in the sink, and fill him up. And then I use my dechlorinator for the first bucket, and then afterwards I don't add any because it's already present in the water. So just add a decent amount in your first fill, then never add any again, and you should be good. But yeah, I'm going to fill this bad boy up, and then I'm probably just going to rearrange the wood slightly just to get more, because some of it's, after it's gotten waterlogged, it's kind of sunk down into positions that I didn't really intend for. So yeah, we'll kind of see what happens there, and then I'll check back with you guys when we're done. So yeah. Okay, now the tank has been filled all the way, and I'm going to be adding the, putting the lid back on and everything and showing you how it looks better in just a sec, but I'd like to just mention a few things, draw attention to a few little tidbits. The first thing is, what do you do with your tank water? Now, obviously you can just dump it in the sink or the toilet, but that's a lame way of doing it. So I do present a few alternative options. The first is to fill up your little spray bottle or mister or your little like personal watering can for like your indoor plants and all that stuff, because all the grossness and stuff in here means nitrates, which means nutrients for your plants. From what I've seen throughout all my plants that have been doing quite well is that the nitrate like water is pretty good for them, and it adds some extra, like, just gives some extra nutrients to them. And I don't water like a super amount because you don't want to like overdose the nutrients. But from what I've seen, it's done pretty well. Obviously, never use this to water carnivorous plants, because carnivorous plants, their roots, they like melt if you give them nutrients through their roots. It's stupid, but it makes sense, because why else would they need to, you know, eat stuff for nutrients? The other thing you can do is obviously water your garden with it, which I'm going to be doing with this. Not in this video, because that's not the point of this video, but that's another thing you can do with it. And I also have this little cup here full of a few plants, as well as some water, and this serves a dual purpose. The first is I'm going to be trying to try to catch some of the less attractive shrimp in here and transfer them to the bowl, and that's just, you know, the tank water with also some plants to, you know, so they don't like freak out the whole time. And the second purpose is that we're going to chuck some of that in the pond, because right now the pond's kind of lacking in plants. It's got some floaters and some hyacinth, which is also a floater, but we're going to add that. But yeah, that's pretty much this tank done. I think when we do the 9-gallon next, I might chuck a few floaters in there. But yeah, so I'll see you guys when I put the hood back on and I guess caught a few shrimp. Hopefully that turns out okay. So there's the tank all cleaned up. Not too happy about that wood piece in the middle. It's kind of just not sitting the way I want it to, but I can't reposition it. So for now it's going to stay that way. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. Still pretty murky. Maybe it'll settle down. If it doesn't, I'll just do another water change. It's simple as that. I haven't caught any shrimp yet. I'm gonna probably do that a bit later, just because I feel like it's gonna be too frustrating right now. But yeah. Alright, now let's do the 9-gallon. Woohoo! Can we just take a moment to appreciate how beautiful these red root floaters are? Like, my god. Yeah, we're definitely putting a few of these that aren't being munched on by pond snails into the 20-gallon, and I'm gonna spread these guys out a bit maybe, because the whole point of the ring is so they don't go in the ring, but they won't even, they just stay in that one corner, which is kind of funny. There we go, that's a bit better. So this aquarium is a pretty simple principle. It's basically the same as the other one. We just drain the water and fill it back up. There's not too much to say about that. I'm kind of just gonna do it, I guess. There's nothing else to say. All right. Okay, so I guess we can just talk about the Gourami Jungle here. So it's a pretty nice tank. It's definitely my favorite tank, but I figured in these few moments, rather than explaining what I'm doing, because it's literally just draining the water, I thought I'd take a quick talk about what I want to stock this tank with other than Gourami. I think I might get a fourth one just so my third guy isn't so lonely. That third guy has been doing a lot better. He hasn't been so inactive, so I'm hoping he does recover, but I'm not holding my breath on that. But I'm thinking maybe just a few Galaxy Reservoirs. I don't know if those will be too small, like as in the Gourami will eat them, but I think they could be pretty interesting because they'll be nice and small and are like a good size for this tank, and they still fit the soft water like requirements of the Gourami. And I don't know, I think they look pretty good together. I do need something else in this tank, that's a guarantee. Oh yeah, also here I'm ripping out a Java Fern, that's going in the 20-gallon. I mention that again in the next clip. But yeah, that's really all there is to say about this tank. It's a really nice tank. It still remains one of my favorite aquariums. And yeah, let's go back to me talking about random stuff. Oh yeah, I repositioned the driftwood. All right. As you may have seen that last clip, when I was draining the water, I pulled out a Java fern, and there it is. My hope is that it'll kind of just multiply and take over the wood. And this tank will be, not our next trip actually, this is going to be the final one I do, I think. But I want to show you. So, some good things have happened. The first is, my third inactive Gourami, who was looking sick and stuff, actually became active. I think he's that one, yeah. I don't know if he has Gourami disease, I'm pretty sure he does. And if that's the case, he's kind of fucked, so that's unfortunate. These two are doing really well, though. I gotta figure out... Yeah, no, he's not doing good, is he? Fuck, I'm gonna have to euthanize him. What else there to say? I caught a shrimp, just one. And this tank is still looking murky, so I might do it's a really stupid thing. I call it a double water change, basically. It's when you've done a water change, I mean, it makes perfect sense what it is. You do a water change, and then it's still dirty, so then you wait for a while for, like, the water to, like, mix in and everything, and, like, for all the fish to get acclimated to the new sort of conditions, which isn't that different, but the water does become a bit softer. So I'm probably going to chuck a few, like, oyster shells and shite in there, and then I might do another water change just because of how murky it is. It's because I took off the filter, but I mean, it doesn't look bad, so I don't know. The Bacopa mostly floated up, but that's fine. Yeah, the way I do this is exactly the same as the other tank, just... fill her up as you'd expect. Without disturbing the fish too much. And there we go. Another tank done. So that's 3 of my 7 setups done. And normally I don't do this all in one day. So this is kind of tiring. It was really easy when I only had... Oh boy, he ain't looking good. It's just got really sad. But normally I would just do... I had this tank, and the Isoproject, and the bowl. And the bowl is like top it off. But now... I've got the Jarrarium too, which is also pretty easy. It's just the 20 and the pond, but you know what? It's cool, guys. We can do it all. So yeah, that's those tanks cleaned up. I'll get the light on here, and then we'll take another look at it. And but yeah, I'll try to catch more shrimp as we go. But I guess next we should do the... Let's do the Jarrarium next, because that one's really quick. So yeah. Took the snails off the floaters, now they go in the tank. There we are, looking clean and crisp as always. I love this tank. Definitely gonna get some more fish for that soon, but yeah. This tank sucks next to it, like, I'm sorry. It's just so like... whatever, we'll figure it out. Alright, Jarrarium time. One of the best things about this little setup is that I can basically just take it to the bathroom to do the water change. Now I already showed how I did this in the actually building the Jarrarium video, but pretty much I just stick the hose in there, suck up all the grossness, and then we're done with it. But first let's take a little whiff to see how this thing is doing. Give you a look from the top. Yeah, it's smelling a little funky. So yeah, basically hit our tube. Or our hose or a siphon, whatever you want to call it. Stick one end in the sink, or in your, one end in the jar, one end in your mouth. You can figure out the rest. There we go. I don't like to suck up our microfauna, so I tend to just kind of suck up all the gross bits. And then normally I fill this up with like bowl water or something, but I'm actually going to fill this up with water from that we dechlorinated that we didn't get to use. Just because, why not? I'm going to do about a 50% water change. Haven't done one of these in a while. And okay, that's probably good. There's our little Java fern growing up there. Seems to be doing okay. Yeah, that's kind of a gross smelling thing after a while, just because you get decomposing matter and stuff. But yeah, so let's just fill the water back up. Hopefully we didn't suck up any microfauna. I saw a scud in here the other day, which is kind of cool. There we go. Our floaters don't seem to be doing too well in here. I guess it's just not the ideal environment for them. But our other plants, particularly the Anacharis and the hornwort, because they're such, sucks for nutrients and stuff, they're doing pretty well. What I'm going to do actually, we need a bit more water. I think I'm going to add a bit of fertilizers actually, like liquid ferts. I think I did that in the setup video, but I haven't really, as far as I'm aware, I haven't done it since then. So let's just go do that really quick. I'm not going to be dosing these tanks with ferts because I did that pretty recently. It was like a few days ago. Oh, baby slug. So let's just give a little squirt. There we go. And I do use this on the bowl, not too often, so unfortunately I can't call it a I can call it a no CO2, no filter, but I can't call it a no ferts one. But here we go, put this back. It's so heavy. Like, not so heavy, but like comparatively speaking to like a terrarium. Like, it weighs way more than that. And there we go. Speaking of which, if you guys remember, I made this for a Jarrarium contest. Yeah, I didn't win. I got like 2 votes, and one of them was me, so... Looks pretty cool, though. I'm happy with it. Now, I was going to do the bowl next, but the bowl is basically zero maintenance. I basically just add water to it, so that's not very interesting. Plus, I don't even want to do that yet, because we still have to capture our shrimp to put in here, and then we'll fill it up to the top. So that'll be last, I guess. And we're actually going to do this next. And no.
No. You know what I just do with one hand without killing it? No.
Well, that guy got away, but speaking of which, it is time to do the water change on the 20 gallon. So yeah, let's just do that. And I see a few snails, I'm gonna grab them all. Now, Cashier has just woken up from his nap, which is honestly, it's great because it means, well, A, it means we can do the pond, so we're changing up the video order a bit, but B, it means I can put Cash in the video, which means he can go in the thumbnail. Alright, so we're doing the pond now. So I've got the shrimp cup here because we're going to be adding the Anacharis, and I've also got the ferts. Now for this, what I do is I just use this little glass cup to remove water. We can take a little look at the pond here. You can see we got some water hyacinth in here, as well as some random floaters. Here you can take a look at the fish. Bless you to whoever that is in the distance. Now I rarely do water change in this thing, so this would probably be nice for them. So I'm just gonna do this kinda. And, as before when I mentioned, you can use your water to water the garden. We'll water a few of our plants with this. These were watered this morning, but our little weed oxalises and stuff like that could use a bit of extraness, yeah. So I'm just gonna do this like, I don't know, 5 more times, and then I'll show you guys how drained I've got it. So take a look at this for reference. Then I'll fill it back up, then we'll add ferts and the plants, and yeah, that'll be it. And Cash will continue to be cute. Hi, Cashy. Okay, so that's about how drained we got it. I don't know why I said that's about. That's exactly how drained we've gotten it. So yeah, next thing I'm gonna do is chuck in our plants, then ferts, then we're gonna fill it up. So let's get the plants. Now we wanna make sure we don't accidentally grab our shrimpy. So we're gonna try to find him first. There he is. So we're gonna grab the Anacharis first. And the Bacopa he can keep. We're not gonna take that from him. So here we have our Anacharis. Now this plant is fine floating, and we're going to leave it as such. Hopefully it does okay. I'm going to take that Salvinia back because Salvinia just seems to die in here. There you guys go. This is a long video. Just felt like saying that. Next we grab our hornwort, which hopefully our shrimp is not on. Nope, he's at the bottom there. Don't worry, shrimp will get you some friends soon enough. He's like, what the hell, man? Alright, grab this bit of Anacris. There we go. And then we chuck our little piece of hornwort in there. And there we go. Sweet. So now we're just gonna fill this bad boy up. And what I have here is I've filled the watering can with water from the hose. We're just gonna use this because the hose is a little too powerful. We're just gonna kind of Now I did have another plant in here a while ago, something I found in the wild. I'm going to use my other arm because my left arm is weak. It was some plant I found in the wild, but it didn't seem to do very well, so we're going to hope these guys do a bit better. I don't really think it's possible to kill hornwort or Anacris unless you have a lack of nutrients. So we'll kind of see what happens. Why do you guys go underneath the water? Probably because you miss having flow. Yeah, we never really put the fountain on. Alright, there we go. Our Anacris is here. Wherever did our hornwort go? I'd like to at least know where it went. I also went ahead and trimmed up all the dead bits of the hyacinth, just kind of chucked it down there. And now we're just going to add a bit of liquid ferts. And maybe 2. And then hopefully that'll benefit all our plants. But yeah, that's the pond done. So now what's just left is the 20 gallon and then the transfer of our shrimps. So we can see our one shrimp friend here, along with the pond snail. They're gonna make contact. No, peace swam away. All right. Don't want him to be alone for much longer, so let's get going with the 20 gallon and then we'll get all that stuff sorted out. This is a long video. But that's what you got to do for a 90 subscriber special, I guess. How am I going to top this for the 100th? I don't know, I'll make a skit with cash or something. Okay, first of all, we close this for improved filming. And now it's been about 2 hours because I was playing with cash, but now we are ready to get onto the Blackwater tank. Now, we're not going to do too big of a water change in here, firstly because these plants do need to grow. Oh, my Java fern fell off, that's fine. These plants do need to get a lot of nutrients. Second of all, we do have a sweet potato and a pothos and a ton of floaters, which basically means our nitrates are getting sucked up quite a bit, so it's not a huge concern. And we also don't want to lose this nice tannin look. I mean, I do have more leaves I can add, but for now we're just going to do a little water change, and we're also going to clean out the filter here. So you can see the inlet is just shoved with stuff. So yeah, we're just going to get on that. And yeah, that's really all there is to say. Oh, and we'll refill the little CO2 thing as well. All right, let's get going. So here's the part where I do maintenance on the Blackwater setup. Already off to a great start with me knocking the camera tripod over, but that's okay. All the tetras like to swim and see what the hell's going on with the siphon. Cleaning of this is pretty simple. We literally just get the siphon in there and suck up some water. Scrub the algae off, which you'll see me do in a bit, but there's really not much to it. You can see the beta was getting a little, like, he was checking out the hose, or whatever you want to call it, the siphon, which I thought was kind of funny. Yeah, overall this tank is just flourishing and I absolutely love it. We're doing about a decent water change, and then you can see I reposition the camera for the next clip. And I think I knock it down again, maybe? No, maybe not. Oh yeah, here's me scrubbing off there's just a bunch of like scum on the glass. I'm not even sure if it was algae, but it was just gross, so got rid of it, made it nice and clear. This is a pretty old tank. I got it from my girlfriend, and it's got quite a few scratches on this side. Not on the other side, of course. I couldn't have set up the tank facing the other way. And yeah, I know what you're thinking, why didn't you just switch it around? Well, by the time I got the scape I wanted and everything, it was already too late, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, you can see me replanting some of the val here, just because it always floats up, but that's really all there is to it. This tank's really easy to maintain because of the amount of plants plus the sweet potato and the pothos. But yeah, that's really all there is to say. I fixed the filter. This was like covered in full of gunk. And it's landing right on our water lettuce, and I'm hoping that that allows us to distribute the flow enough that the beta, wherever he is, isn't too disturbed. By the way, the beta's name is officially Vince. No one commented what to name him, so I said in the description, if no one comments, his name is Vince, so his name is officially Vince. Now what I'm going to do now is just sort of replant all of our plants and stuff that have floated up and stuff, and then we'll fill up the tank, we'll be good. There we go, looking good as ever. So pretty much I just use my siphon to blow some CO2 into here, and then it slowly diffuses, you know, over about a week. It's not an efficient CO2 setup at all, but I mean it's free. So I mean, you gotta pay for the water bottle, but other than that. But yeah, we got the Bacopa in the back. There's our beta. Now thankfully, due to the water lettuce, the flow is sort of distributed so that it's filtering the water, but it's not such heavy flow that he, you know, has any issues with it. But yeah, we definitely got that swampy look going. I'm quite happy about that. And our Java fern will hopefully grow. And yeah, it's looking really good. So I guess the last thing to do is just catch some more shrimp and then put them in here and then fill that, get the guy up, and then we're done. Let's do it. Now, though I recall there being way more like not very bright shrimp, I was only able to catch 2 at the time being. I'll probably end up doing it at a later date, but we are gonna add these guys. So what I'm gonna do is just use this syringe to suck up water from the bowl and slowly introduce this to these guys. And then we'll kind of just pour them in there. And yeah, then I'll update you guys when we're done, and then that'll be the end of it. Hello, shrimp. There's 1 shrimp, and there's 2 shrimp. I don't know where our pale guy has gone, but he is in here somewhere. I've also gone ahead and added some of the Bacopa that we had. I was going to put that in the 20, but I thought, we'll add it to here, you know, have another variety of Bacopa. Looking pretty good. This thing is overgrown, but I don't want to trim it, so. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a really long one, but I want to do something special for 90 subscribers, and this is a video I've wanted to make for a while, and you know, finally got around to doing it. Did it all in one day, well, all the filming in one day, and all the editing in another day, so I'm pretty tired from that, but I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this was a good way of saying thank you for 90 subscribers. Help me get to 100, and I'll do something cute with cash. And yeah, that's really all I got to say. A bunch more content coming to you guys pretty soon, so stay awesome, and thanks for liking the videos, and enjoy this shot of the fish fry as we fade to black, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Alright.